So you're telling us there's a chance. Hi again, everyone, and welcome into Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien alongside Elise Jesse. And the Bengals, they beat the Browns. They keep their season alive. They sweep Cleveland for the first time since 2017. It was a 24-6 win, and it was ugly. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't a pretty game. It's not a game we're going to look back fondly on from oh my God, remember all of those things. And yet, there were some really fun moments. There were some awesome plays. And more importantly, the Bengals win their third straight game, improve to 7-8, and keep their slim but still playoff hopes alive.
Even though those playoff hopes are slim, the players, there's a new energy about this locker room. Have you noticed that? I noticed that almost instantly walking in, and I heard two players talking about how they feel like next week is a playoff game. And then other players Chase Brown specifically was saying he felt like today was a playoff game. Because if you lose, you're out, and they know that. And there's like a new sense of urgency about this team that's really fun. I don't know if it's the 3-game win streak or if it's December, because I swear this team is always different in December.
Yeah, and they have been. I mean, the past few weeks now. Part of it is the level of opponent, no doubt about it.
True.
But the Browns came out ready to play today. By the way, today's video brought to you by BetUS. Today's game was started off with a 66-yard run by Jerome Ford. And it was like, all right, is Lou Anarumo going to do this to us? Is this what's going to happen? And they had the ball at the 1-yard line. And then Von Bell, who everyone has put him in the doghouse and shut the door on the doghouse and tried to send the doghouse away, makes the biggest play of the game. I mean, he makes the biggest play of the game, strips Dante Foreman at the 1-yard line. The official calls it a touchdown. I don't know what the official was looking at. My man needs LASIK. But strips him and grabs the ball. The Bengals go 99 yards. I mean, what a momentum swing. Down 7-0 versus up 7. It's just crazy, and it's crazy different, especially when you're playing against Myles Garrett and the Browns.
Big time. I mean, that play, if it had gone the wrong way, could have put the Bengals in a hole, and then they would have to claw out of that hole. And it's not something that you want to be doing, especially in this weather, going against a division opponent, and you've got so much of your season on the line, and you know that the Browns are a team who love ruining their division foes' hopes. They are just that team. So the fact that Von Bell was the guy to come in, get that ball out, recover it, and he's the guy who leads a lot of those player-led meetings, for him to be able to pull off a play like that, I think was huge. And even Jordan Battle was so excited for Von in that moment, too. He told me after the game.
I'm excited about, by the way, if you missed Jordan Battle or any of these other locker room interviews, Elise did a bunch, I did a bunch. They're all going to be up right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk, so hit that subscribe button. You know what else I'm excited about? I'm excited about Elise mentioning the weather, because she's so cold right now before the video. And so I'm going to delay the rest of our insight and analysis by talking about BetUS. Today's video is brought to you by BetUS. And you can use code YouTube150, Elise, to wager on the Bengals. Maybe you think they're going to handle business against the Broncos in 6 days against the Broncos at 4:30. No, I'm just thinking about it in my head like it's a short week. Oh my goodness, it's Christmas week and they play again in 6 days, but it's really 5 days because in my head Sunday's already over. The point is whether it's week 16, week 17 NFL action, the college football playoff, college basketball, all in one spot. BetUS, code YouTube150. Are you cold yet?
That was a good ad. It actually took my mind off of the fact that I was insanely cold 2 seconds ago.
There we go. Insanely cold. Now she's not. She's warmed up.
Better now. I'm okay.
Like the Bengals. They've won 3 straight. The first time this season they've won 3 straight. What's so funny is I mentioned Myles Garrett, and I think he's been such a thorn in their side. The Bengals hadn't swept the Browns since Myles Garrett was a rookie, when they stunk and got the number 1 overall pick and still didn't have a quarterback and took Myles Garrett because he's a freak. And so to do that, I think that's significant. Joe Burrow and Zach Taylor kind of downplayed it, but I do think that that's significant regardless of what happens over the final couple of weeks, because the Browns have just always been a rough matchup. And I thought that today at times. Even in the third quarter, it felt that way. The offense got kind of stagnant, and then the defense. And I think this is the big difference over the past couple of weeks. We know Joe Burrow, who threw for 250 and 3 touchdowns. We know he's going to put up numbers. Jamar Chase, same thing. Going to put up numbers, almost had 100 yards and a touchdown. Chase Brown, he's in that class now. T. Higgins. But the defense forced 3 turnovers today in the second half, 2 huge turnovers to kind of keep momentum when things weren't at risk, but it didn't feel great.
No, it didn't. And going back to Myles Garrett for a second, I mean, for the record, the Browns still stink and they still don't have a quarterback. So that's...
Time is a flat circle.
Yes, it would just remain the same there. But for them to have a game plan for Myles Garrett, I mean, he had, 3 tackles, 2 for loss. It's a quieter stat game for him. He still wrecks it, but the Bengals had a plan. I saw them double teaming him constantly or triple teaming him. They were doing anything they could to keep Myles Garrett away from their quarterback, Joe Burrow, and I felt like that was huge for them to be able to have a sufficient game plan for a player like Myles Garrett. But we do have to talk about how Myles Garrett has been injured since training camp. Like he popped up on the injury report with a back issue. I don't know how much that's affecting him, but when you look at his overall stats, the fact that he is playing the way he is and injured, it's pretty incredible. Honestly, it is.
I think he's the best defensive player in football. And people that look at Trey Hendrickson's sacks are going to say Trey, or there's going to be other people. Yeah. But, like, Myles has been insane. But, yeah, the Bengals, 5 sacks on the day. Chris Jenkins with 2. McKinley Jackson with 1. Trey Hendrickson with 1. Like, it was nice. Now, again, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, all of those things. But it's nice to see these young guys appear to take a step. In worst case, it at least helps their confidence. Even if they're not necessarily taking a step, it's because of the quality of competition. The young guys have produced, and those guys, especially McKinley Jackson and Chris Jenkins, they're banking on those guys long term.
I really enjoyed my conversation with Chris Jenkins after the game. It looked like he had more energy after the game. Honestly, I even referenced that. I'm like, why do I feel like you have more energy after you just played a 3-hour football game? But he is so excited because he's got a bet with his uncles and his dad about getting 4 or 4.5 sacks in his rookie year, and he's really gunning for that because he doesn't want to do, like, he said a ton of push-ups. He wouldn't give me the actual number, but he said it's a ton of push-ups on the line, and he does not want to lose that bet, so he is gunning for more sacks.
Wow, that's a good one. See, I love bets like that and little things. All right, so we went 7 minutes. We haven't mentioned Joe Burrow, first quarterback in NFL history to throw for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns in 7 straight games. Record breaker. He's also the first Bengals quarterback to throw for 4,000-plus yards in 3 seasons. He did it in 21, 22, and this year, 2024. The only guys that have done it twice, Carson Palmer and Andy Dalton. So Joe Burrow separating himself. And he's not alone. Jamar Chase, same thing, 1,500-plus yards now receiving on the year. Just a few receptions away from breaking T.J. Hushmanzada's single-season record. But he broke his yards record. And he's 1 away from tying Carl Pickens for the receiving touchdowns record. So Joe and Jamar, record-setting.
Yeah, and it's so fun to watch Joe Burrow. If you did not watch this game, you missed some of the craziest throws I think I've ever seen in my career covering football. Joe Burrow was literally horizontal in the air, kept his knees up somehow, and was able to make a throw to T. Higgins in the end zone for a touchdown. I don't know how in the world he has the body awareness to be able to keep his knee off the ground before making the throw. Just insane. And then the no look pass, like, over his shoulder. I think it was a Drew Sample, wasn't it? That was just wild. It was so fun talking to the guys about Joe Burrow and the plays that he makes. T. Higgins especially, he was like, screw the Batmobile, screw the whole Batman thing. He's Superman. He is flying through the air, and it's just fun listening to these guys talk about their quarterback they play with.
Yeah, I mean, he's why they're still in it, right? He's why they're still in it. We'll have a playoff update on Monday is probably when we'll plan that. But yeah, I just think Joe, right, he's been a lot of fun to watch all season long. We'll see if he can break some of these other records. But the Bengals, they're 7-8. Mm-hmm. They've won 3 straight. This is only the second time this year that we've stood here at Paycor Stadium postgame after a win. Been a lot of losses. Been me going viral, making fun of Jaden Daniels, who is good. Still not that good, but he's good, you know. And by the way, I'm going to get roasted because he threw a game-winning touchdown today. But still, he shouldn't have diced up the Bengals defense as bad as he did. That was the whole point, losers. Anyways, the second straight win, or second win at home this year. We'll see if they can make it 3 straight and stay in it. Look, meaningful December football. There's been plenty of times we've covered this team, and they haven't been relevant by Christmas.
Yeah.
They're still relevant. I'll take it.
And I do think that we should note this because coming into this game, the last 3, they had 35 penalties for 291 yards. They kept their penalties low today, which was good to see. And then also the defense, if you look at the last 3 games, their last 3 wins, their defense has only allowed 17.6 points per game on average in those 3. So that... for some reason, the defense looks like against Tennessee and today they look like they were just flying around, playing looser, playing with more freedom in a way. Like they looked like they were having fun. And Tennessee was the first time I saw that from this team on defense this year. I don't know about you.
No, I agree with that, and I think it coincides with the success. I mean, Geno Stone has had an interception in 3 straight games. DJ Ivey made a big play to help Geno get an interception. Geno pressures Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Yeah, gets the quarterback hit. Jordan Battle gets the interception. Like, they're playing together as a unit, and they're going to get tested again this week in 6 days. Bo Nix, Sean Payton coming to town. Another must-win. We'll have you covered. Today's video is brought to you by BetUS. For Elise Jesse, I'm James Rapien. Make sure you check out all of our videos, all of the locker room stuff right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Also, I got to mention Andrew Fox Miller because he'll get mad at me if I don't. Yeah, why wouldn't I? Why Hot P? Why wouldn't I?
That's our guy.
No one gets the Hot P reference. Check out the McKinley Jackson interview from last week. For Elise, I'm James. Thank you so much for watching. Following a Bengals 24-6 win over the Cleveland Browns, this is Cincinnati Bengals Talk.